Okay, I'd like to start the City of North St. Paul City Council meeting for November 5th. If you could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mary, if you could take roll.
Councilmember Thorson?
Here.
Councilmember Peterson? Here. Councilmember Walzak?
Here.
Councilmember Sonic?
Here.
Mayor Furlong?
Here, quorum is present. This time, a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
So moved by Councilmember Peterson,
Second.
second by Councilmember Sonic. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We have no presentations. We have the consent agenda, and that is the October 15th, 2019 workshop meeting minutes, the October 15th regular meeting minutes, general accounts payable of $1,487,266.87, the HRA accounts payable of $2,452.80, ISD 622 School Resource Officer Agreement for 2019 to 20. The 2020 SCORE Grant Fund application. And the last is the schedule additional City Council workshop for Tuesday, November 12th at 6 p.m. At this time, anyone could pull anything from the consent agenda if they would like. If not, motion to approve the agenda.
So moved, Your Honor.
So moved by Councilmember Walzak,
Second.
second by Councilmember Sonic. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries.
Oh, could I just, one quick comment on item E, the school resource contract. And this has happened in years past. Contract is set to expire August 31st. It says here the police chiefs of Maple and Oakdale met with the school district back on July 23rd. There was a counter or a revised agreement sent back from the school district October 21st, but the contract's already in place. So if there's something that we can add in here to make sure that next year that we have this, we're doing this before August 31st and not, it's already November 5th today.
And I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
I'll just say, yeah, we'll follow up with that and do everything we can with the school district to make sure that we get that done ahead of time. I will also want to say and acknowledge our Chief Loth in his efforts with this. There was a 3% increase in the contract this year, and we did hear a positive support back from Oakdale on our Chief Loth's efforts in getting that. So it was something that we hadn't necessarily seen another year, so that was a positive move forward this year, but I agree, these contracts need to be done prior to the start of the year.
Scott, are you okay with that? Meeting open to the public. We don't have anybody here. This meeting is earlier today. It's at 4 o'clock rather than our 6:30. That's due to the election day, although we don't have any elections in our city. But that's the reason why we have to be out of here by 6 o'clock.
Right.
Okay, we have no public hearings. That was canceled. City business action items and recommendations. I'll turn it over to City Manager Dudek.
Have no other business items for this evening. We'll have some report items for you.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and jump right into the reports?
So maybe the first one, I'd ask our city engineer, Morgan Dolly, to come up and could just give you a little background on the reason why we canceled the public hearing for this evening for the street and utility project.
Welcome, Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. As the city manager mentioned, and as noted in the review of the agenda, the public improvement hearing and the assessment hearing for the 2020 street and utility improvement project was canceled by staff prior to tonight. The last action or time that you heard about this project at the city council level was the receipt of the feasibility study. At that time, council took action by resolution directing staff to prepare the assessment roll, prepare for the public improvement hearing. That time is generally used to take a closer look and prepare presentation for, again, preparation for public testimony for the affected property owners and provide notification to those property owners as well, too. And so I can report to council during that time, as a part of normal process, taking a closer look at things, preparing for the hearings. Staff felt, candidly, to save the council's time and save the public's time, that there's a little bit more work to be done in terms of looking specifically at some of the special assessments on the project and what's proposed. I can report to the council there's no planned changes in scope or any of the improvements. All of that stands as previously presented in the feasibility report. But following convening of the city manager, myself, and the city attorney, we thought it'd probably be in the best interest, again, just in terms of being efficient with the public's time and your time as well, to take a little bit more time, cancel the hearing, which we did via mail, mailed notice last week, and we'd be coming forward with some additional information and recommendations for council consideration at an upcoming council meeting.
We don't have a date for that.
Not at this time, but that would be by formal council action at a future regular city council meeting.
Good.
Mayor, council, just to follow up with that, one of the items that we've found, if you can recall back, I think it was like 2003, when the Penn Place townhomes, shortly after they were constructed, that was brought to the council. That was a private drive, private street. That was brought to council for the request for that to be taken back by the city as a city street. Going through everything that we've been going through, that's just one of many things. We found that it appears that was never actually formally conveyed to the city as an easement over that streetway. The city council did adopt a resolution accepting that, but then it was incumbent on the property owners, the 16 property owners of the Penn Place townhomes, to formally sign off and create an easement back to the city. And from what we can tell right now and per Ramsey County tax records, that never occurred. So there's a multitude of different things that we need to get cleaned up and taken care of through the process. I just wanted to alert you to that, because that'll be something you'll see coming forward in the future here.
Will this delay the project then for?
I was just going to add that in. Yeah, no, we're not anticipating any delays to the preparation for bidding or anything like that. We're still on track to do that early in 2020. And so we hope to follow through on these outstanding items before the end of the year and be right back kind of where we would be had the public hearings happened at this meeting here tonight.
And that's not the reason it was canceled. There's just many things that we're looking at to make sure that we have everything in place correctly. And that was one of the things that we found going through things.
If I can add, just in terms of procedurally where this puts us, you did, for tonight, send out mailed notice to folks, not only on the public improvement portion, but what the assessment role would be. And by canceling this meeting, you will have to start that process over. So everyone will be alerted to the fact of the new meeting time. They will be alerted to their proposed assessment amount. So everyone will get re-noticed and an opportunity to come before you, be heard, and file an objection should they so want. So we are starting it over from there. We aren't going all the way back to ground zero, so to speak. Morgan was going to work up some of the original study, but we'll bring that stuff back to you, and people will be noticed of the upcoming hearings.
And the continuance with that, the cancellation of this meeting, as Morgan mentioned, that we did direct mail to all the parties affected on the project, along with our website, along with also a small notice in our legal paper that was published on Sunday. So we made sure that everybody was notified of the cancellation.
Thank you, Morgan. Appreciate it. City Manager Dudek.
Other items, just want to make to the viewing audience, hopefully they're seeing an improved change on the picture coming through. We have been installing the new cablecast equipment throughout the council chambers here, so everything is going out high definition digitally now. They're continuing to work on refining and finalizing the system, and so tonight we're functioning on that, but we still have some things to finalize. So with our upcoming council meeting on November 19th, everything should be functional, and larger screen monitors here in the council chambers for people to view presentations and overall update of the whole presentation equipment. So, thank you for everyone that's worked with that and getting things done. In the last council meeting, we kind of worked through in-between systems to present that, so you should see a noticeable change with what's going out now.
Hopefully they got the microphones all set so the public can hear. And that was the biggest complaint that I heard, was that the voice would fluctuate or would get it or would get it. And
Yeah, so viewing audience, if there's anything that you see that problems, pros or cons, please let us know with that. Moving on, other information for you. November 13th, we will be hosting here at North St. Paul a meeting with MnDOT, Washington County, Ramsey County, and some of the surrounding cities to discuss the Highway 36 and 120 intersection, and also trails and things related to that potential project in the future. This is just giving us some update, giving an update from the county and MnDOT level, and to hear input from the associated cities. So we're hosting that meeting here at City Hall in the training room on November 13th. It'll be 6:45 in the training room here, where Washington County is coordinating that, and we're expecting or inviting up to 5 representatives from each of the pertaining cities around us. So looking forward to that and trying to get Highway 36 and 120 back on the calendar.
Councilmember Walzak.
Will this meeting be open to the public or not?
It is. I mean, it's a public meeting. It's not anything closed. I mean, we're going to be meeting in the council chambers, in the training room. So if we have attendees from the cities that are invited, we'll have over 50 people there just from that attending. So there won't be a lot of room for a huge crowd of public, but certainly public is welcome. Yes. And then further update on the development projects. Things are continuing to move along. You noticed a sign was installed on the corner of 7th and Margaret announcing the upcoming project, Uptown Commons. So excited, looking forward to that. There will be a final approval document that has yet to come towards the council, and we're looking for that probably be on the November 19th council meeting. And then expected for construction and demolition and associated work to start probably right around the 1st of December was a guess at this point. So that's exciting time.
I've actually seen people walking by it and they stop and look at it and,
Yes.
big smiles on their faces and just kind of walk away.
I think it brings a lot of excitement to the community and the change and improvement. The Anchor site, the Anchor North site, along with the M&I Townhomes, M&I continues to move along with construction and continuing to put in basement foundations for their work to go on through the winter. I talked to them today. I know there's 7 or 8 townhomes that are sold now. They'll be occupying the end of November on some of those. And others will be just starting to build that have been recently sold. So that community is growing fast, and we'll have new residents moving in. So looking forward to that. Also on the north half of the Anchor site, you'll see the grading that we have going on down there with our purchase of that site in preparation for development in the spring. Thankfully, we have, though it's cool weather, it's not raining, so that's a plus. We're able to get a lot of work done down there with that to get the site ready for spring. And I'm happy to report so far, all 3 of the different end users that have been working with have all had very positive responses back, and we're moving along with that in anticipation for all 3 of them starting in the spring.
Councilmember Walzak.
So the road,
Yes.
is that going to start this fall,
No.
or is that gonna be part of the spring project too?
That would be part of the spring project.
Okay.
Yes. That's all I have for now, Mayor.
That's it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I could go on all night, but
Yeah,
that's
I
enough for now.
bet you could. Reports of council, commissions and committees, Councilmember Sonic.
There's a planning commission this Thursday, November 7th, 6:15 here in the council chambers. A lot on the agenda this Thursday. There is a meeting open to the public hearing, regarding a minor subdivision and conditional use permit on Eldridge Avenue. There's also some old business regarding a Zero Burke planned unit development that we have reviewed a couple of times, or at least some of the planning around there. Also, preliminary planned unit development site plan and preliminary plat for townhomes at the 17th Avenue East. That's the 17th and Delaware, where we had looked at some potential townhome development there previously. So there's a concept plan only that will be looked at this Thursday. And then finally, the 2040 comprehensive plan adoption. So the Met Council has formally accepted our comprehensive plan, and now we have to approve what they approved after we approved what they wanted us to do in the first place. So it seems like it's a very long, drawn-out process, but we have a really great comprehensive plan. If you ever get a chance to page through that, I think is that available on the North St. Paul website now? Yeah, the current one is in the yeah, so it's really great. I mean, anything you want to know about North St. Paul, it's in there. So it's a really robust, comprehensive plan, and now we are required to adopt the plan and the comprehensive sewer plan per the attachment. But there will be a resolution coming forward for that. So a lot happening at the Planning Commission this week. Yeah,
So it can be a busy meeting.
yeah, it's going to be good.
Councilmember Walzak.
I do have something tonight. The pumpkin drop is still out there, I think, through tonight. So if you want to get rid of your Halloween pumpkins, it's a great way to recycle them. They go to feed for farm animals, and so they're not wasted. And we've been doing this for, gosh, over 10 years now, and every year we've gotten more and more. Unfortunately, it sounds like there were people this year who wanted to put their garbage in there too to start with. So we had to empty that out, and that's always a sad thing that people do things like that. But it's been a great thing for the city to do, and it's a little different than some of the other cities. So it's kind of special. I know there's people from the surrounding cities who bring their pumpkins over too, which is great because they do get used and recycled. So if you want to get rid of them tonight yet, tonight's the night. They'll pick it up tomorrow. So drop off your pumpkins.
Is it the same farmer every year that takes it?
Yes.
Same person?
Same so far. We haven't had any requests for other farmers wanting them, but that farmer is more than happy, and they get used and eaten and enjoyed.
Councilmember Peterson.
Yeah, I have a concern. Designer review meeting is Thursday night at 5 o'clock. We're going to go over the award winners for the home improvement awards. I think there's 8 of them, so that'll be interesting. And then most of us will be going up to the planning commission, and I'll be packing my pajamas and toothbrush. I hope not. So people could come at 5 o'clock if they wanted to. Park and Rec, I think you've noticed the tennis courts up on Silver Lake. They're looking good. I think there'll be no tennis playing. I put my golf clubs away, so tennis is out. And that'll be the pickleball court as well. It'll be a combination. So we're asking people obviously to stay off it. It's on. It's on? Yes. Okay, continue. Okay. And it's going to be very good in the spring, so that's a good asset. And so I'll have your honor.
Councilmember Thurston.
Yeah, we had a special EDA meeting on October 29th, and we just discussed some potential redevelopment opportunities, one being the BP gas station up on 120. And I believe the EDA had given a recommendation to staff to pursue that acquisition in anticipation for the Highway 120 and 36 project. So staff's in the process of negotiating with that, and if anything comes from it, then it will come to the council for review. Then we discussed the pending community center sale. We're in negotiations right now with the current tenant, and the EDA is in support of a sale. And then the other item was briefly discussed, potential, the current Lilly News building going up for sale. And at this time, the EDA didn't feel it was appropriate to pursue that, so just kind of sit and wait until, give the free market some time, I think was the consensus, so that was it.
I got a cute story is the Veterans Park. We had a college student a couple weeks ago called our the commander or the chair of the Veterans Park, and she wanted to do a little documentary on the park. So Dan Fisher thought, great, it would be great to have a little exposure for the park, and it was a school project. So the girl called Dan up and said, I can meet you up there at 1 o'clock. And I think it was on a Thursday. And he got a call at 12:30 and said, no, I can meet, or I got a call around 12 and said, I can be there around 12:30. So Dan said, okay, I'll meet you up there at 12:30. And the girl, Dan's expecting a film crew up there and everything. So he goes up there and no one's showing up. And pretty soon she calls again and she goes, I can't find Margaret Street in North St. Paul. And he goes, no, it's just off the Snowman, and there's a snowman there too? And she goes, yeah. So a little more conversation, and the girl goes, what's the zip code there? And Dan says, 55109. And she goes, I'm in Nebraska.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, wow.
So there's a St. Paul, Nebraska. And she Googled it and thought it was in Nebraska. So that kind of a cute story. So now that Nebraska, this girl that goes to college there knows that there's a North St. Paul, Minnesota, and we do have a Veterans Park.
And we have a snowman.
And we have a snowman. So cute story.
Still gonna do the documentary?
She is not going to do the documentary, and I bet it was due that Monday. So she probably doesn't have a Veterans Park stuff. So at this time, general business, Councilmember Sonic.
I have nothing, thank you.
Councilmember Walzak.
I have nothing, Your Honor.
Councilmember Peterson.
Just have a couple things. The Save the Haven program, or is that what it's called?
Safe Haven.
Safe Haven, yeah. I called them up and I had two young, nice firefighters come up and install my CD, what do you call that? CR, detector. And he checked my fire,
Smoke detectors?
yeah, and everything was okay. And it's a free program. It's through the Red Cross. And I encourage people to, call in because I'm in a new place. And it was very good, sir. It took 15 minutes. So thank you for that. And then I have a shout out for the North High Polars volleyball team. They're going to state.
Woohoo.
First time in the history. We're very excited for them. They're going to start Thursday. They're going to, actually, the fire truck, the North St. Paul fire truck will be escorting them out of the city, and hopefully they will be for a send-off, and they will be receiving them when they come back with the big trophy. So we're very excited for them, and go Polars. Thank you.
Very good. Councilmember Thorson.
I have nothing.
And,
If I can?
yep, go ahead.
Got a couple other things I just wanted to let you know about. This past Saturday, the Richardson School project that's been going on, all year, we were finally able to get the street paving completed up there around the school. So First Street and 15th Avenue has now been overlay paved. So 15th Avenue between 1st and 2nd has been overlaid, and First Street between 15th and 17th is now overlaid. So it's a huge improvement around there on those streets doing that work. Then also the purchase that you had previously approved for that 2242 First Street, the property off of First and 7th down there. That home, we're preparing that for demo. So we just did the asbestos removal out of the home and getting it ready for demolition and getting that site surveyed. And our Morgan, our city engineer, has been working on that and preparing as we move forward with the street project for next year for stormwater treatment and that down there. So that'll be moving ahead soon with the demolition. And then also just wanted to, community center, Councilmember Thorson touched on that. That will be something that we're going to set up a workshop for. RT and the group wants to come and do a presentation to council on that proposal. So right now, we're targeting December 3rd for that workshop, to have them come in to talk about that. So we'll keep you posted on that, but tentatively plan on December 3rd for that. And then also, our finance director, Jason Zimmerman, and staff have been working on our automated message for our trash hauling, now that we have that in-house, so that we're able to put out an automated message to alert our customers on changes with dates based on holidays, with Thanksgiving coming up. So they've got that set up and ready to go. So looking forward to those services ready to go. Thank you.
Is that automated message, can you get a text message alert, or is it all gonna be voicemail, or how's that?
Finance Director Zimmerman, we'll let him come up and tell us about it.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Welcome, Jason.
Late afternoon, Mayor and Council. Yeah, the technology is relatively limited. Again, it's basically 20-year-old software, more or less. So it does appear that there is some option to have something with a text. We haven't tried it, so I don't have a lot of confidence in how that would actually work. The notify process we already use for delinquent utility bills, so we know how that works. We're confident we can replicate that with the trash hauling delay. So we can look into it some more. Again, I'm just not, and again, I don't know how it'll work if you have a residential phone number versus a cell phone, if it's in your home, and if we have that text option. And it is a nickel for every attempt. So if we duplicate it, could double the bill of trying to text and do the phone message.
So this is an area we're using the technology that we have. As you mentioned, this is 20-year-old software that we're looking at improving, enhancing, replacing all of this along the way, but we're utilizing what we have right now to be able to do this. We also have a service, Everbridge, through Ramsey County, that's used through the police and fire services, but it's available to all the cities in Ramsey County to utilize for other notifications, and we're working with them also simultaneously to be able to use that system, and we would then have to import our customer data into that database to notify people, but that's only as good as the information that we have for contact information. But we're working on all that, and then want to make a push as time goes on for people to be able to update their cell numbers and email addresses and all those different forms. But the program that the county has a lot more flexibility. You can actually draw on a polygon, a map, neighborhoods or certain areas that you want to notify, where our system here, we're only able to notify based on the customer type.
Yeah, so I just asked because, I don't even have a landline at
Yep.
my house, and I know that's kind of the trend, and, with all these robocalls and, kind of suspicious calls you get anytime I see a phone number I don't really recognize, or,
Yep.
if it says it's not from Minnesota, I generally try to ignore it.
Yep.
And,
Oh, definitely
just to see if
technology
that was
and
the options, or, people can opt in to receive an email reminder or text message or whatnot, so.
I think one of the issues too with the technology is that there are two data fields for phone numbers, but it just says phone number 1 and phone number 2. And I'm guessing with any modern, it would say landline versus cell phone. But again, the technology was rolled out before cell phones were the predominant use of communication. So again, it would be nice if we did have that, so we could just identify those numbers that were for cell phones and text out the message, and those that were landline. But again, we're a little constrained via the technology.
All right, thank you. Anything else? I want to poll the council here. I have when we're up at Duluth with the League of Minnesota Cities, one of the ideas that I got coming out of that was to have a council meeting at the high school and to get the kids involved and, you know, to hear how government works but it might be, the time might be earlier in the day, and I don't know how that would work for Councilmember Sonic or Councilmember Thorson. I know you work, and we're probably looking at either late January or early February, and I know that's into your tax season, and so I don't know. I'd like to do it, to get, to go out to the high school and have just one council meeting, maybe a year at the high school. So I'd like to maybe get some input from you all.
I think it'd be great, and I can make it work.
Okay, good. Anybody else, any?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, Mayor. They don't have a civics class, and I think that would be good just to, know that we're actually, well, there is, but it's not like what we had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I think it would be good to get them, especially with the lecture, just what the city does, they don't know. So we don't know, so I think it's great.
Okay. Jan, good.
Sure.
Sure.
Yep, make it work.
All right, so I'll be in contact with the principal over there, and we'll make it work. All right, Councilmember Walzak.
Just for this one, for just trying it out, January's great. I would wonder if this one works out, then in the future, if we would maybe look to doing it earlier in the school year. If we did it, not long after school started, that would maybe perhaps once again give us the opportunity that I know some of us were looking for in the past of getting getting high school students to come and participate on some of the commissions, not as voting members, but certainly to get their input. And I know for the time that we had someone on the Environmental Commission, it was really refreshing. It worked well. They felt important, and their input was important because it came from a different perspective than what we had. So just thinking that if this works out well, that maybe in the future, if we started early in the year and did it in September or October at the latest, that might open some doors for opportunities for us.
Yep, no, I agree. I think anytime we can try to get the youth involved, I think it'd be helpful. So, and Soren, you okay with showing up at one of the?
Yeah, talk about veterans.
There you go.
Mention the veterans.
Councilmember Peterson mentioned the Veterans Day, which is on
The 11th,
the 11th, which is next Monday.
10:30.
And they do have a program at the Veterans Park. The ROTC, JROTC is going to be standing at attention all day from, I believe,
We're
if I can get it on, if I can get it up here real quick here. I do have the schedule.
I think it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, 10:30 to get there, and then 11 o'clock, I think is.
Okay. So on Monday, and they do it military time here, so 0600 to 1600, the JROTC will be at half-hour watches at the Veterans Park. 10:50, welcome words and Pledge of Allegiance. There will be an MC there. 11 o'clock, there'll be 3 rifle volleys with taps done by the VFW Honor Guard. At 11:15, memorial wreath laid at Memorial Hall, done by Angela Strong. At 11:20, invocation prayer by the VFW chaplain, Jerry Nelipinski. 11:30, patriotic songs by the North High Choir. 11:45, parting words. And there will also be hot coffee and cocoa provided. And this event will proceed regardless of weather.
Cold.
And if it happens at Veterans Park, it's probably going to be cold and snowy. So if you can make it on Monday, that'd be great. And hopefully, council members can also show up. That'd be great. So at this time, we have no closed sessions. Motion to adjourn.
So moved, Your Honor.
So moved by Councilmember Walzak, second by Councilmember Peterson. All those in favor signify with opposed. Motion carries. We are adjourned at 4:35 PM.